My name is Josh Gutierrez and this is JK Life Photography, and today we're going to be talking about Mount Rainier and my little voyage that I had the other day.
You knocked me off my feet. Please pick me up, 'cause I'm still down. I open my eyes and you're not around. Yeah, you driving me insane. It's very, very plain. You got
Mount Rainier. Just for those of you who may not know, I actually do lots and lots of landscape photography, and my last major thing that I've been doing, kind of been working with, is Mount St. Helens. I've been over there since last year, just taking photographs, night photographs, and anyways, I had a request from I was gonna say a fan. I had a request to head up to Mount Rainier and start doing photos there. Just a couple of days ago, my wife says to me, she's like, "Hey, are you gonna go out and do photos tonight?" And I look at her, I was like, well, maybe, yeah. She's like, "Are you gonna go do Mount Rainier?" I said, "You know what, now that I think about it, I think I am." So I grab my stuff, I get online, I start taking a look at all the weather, I start taking a look at weather reports for the next 12 to 15 hours, because I'm basically gonna be trekking over there overnight. I was looking for hotels because I was like, maybe I'll stay over there. No, I just pretty much ended up shooting throughout the night and I came back home. But here's kind of what happened. I made my way down there, and if you're not from the Pacific Northwest, then this probably doesn't mean anything to you, but there's a bunch of different ways to get around the mountain. And most classic shots that you see, at least the stuff that I've been seeing on Facebook and whatnot, people are posting it from the north side of the mountain. So like up towards Seattle, Tacoma area, shooting down. And there's tons of beautiful areas, there's tons of beautiful pictures to be seen from that side. Well, I happen to live south of the mountain. So I went online, I've been taking a look and see what are the classic shots. So I make my way out there, and sure enough, it was a little late. I figured, okay, it's gonna be about 9 or 10 o'clock by the time I get there. And I've been doing long exposures for the last couple of months, so I'm not terribly worried about it. So I get out there, and man, there was a beautiful sunset. Just a beautiful, beautiful sunset that was going on, and I was have to just stop and take pictures of the mountain because I could see it in the background a little bit. But I was like, no, let me get there. There's a certain spot that I want to get to. It's called Reflection Lake, and just as the name implies, it's a reflection. And on a good day, or during the day, I should say, the water that's where it's at is kind of surrounded by trees. There's not a lot of air movement to wrinkle up the water, so you get this perfect reflection of the mountain in the background. So you've got the tree line, you got the mountain there, and I pull up, and sure enough, the clouds just rolled in. And I mean, it was still a beautiful area, and I took a couple shots anyways. It wasn't anything worth really noting about. I'll post them online so you can take a look at them. But I was kind of bummed because I traveled all the way there, and I'm like, well, okay, now what am I gonna do? I get out of the car, get my clothes on, I get the camera set up. All of a sudden I hear the bzzz just flying around my head. I'm like, seriously? I was like, man, just leave me alone. Anyways, just on a side note, everywhere I go, I always seem to have mosquitoes and bugs attract me. And my wife says it's because I don't have enough vitamin B12, or who knows. She laughs at me for it. So I get there, I set up, I'm taking a few shots, and nothing real spectacular. But just on another side note, now that we're talking about it, the whole time I was over there, I ended up taking like 15 pictures. And when you go to a place like that, you take hundreds and hundreds of pictures. Oh, look at the mountain, look at me, look at this. No, I took about 15 pictures, and about 5 of them were, 5 here, 5 there, and 5 at that spot. One thing I'm pretty good about doing is getting a shot no matter where I go. There's always something that one of my mentors taught me a long time ago, is that it doesn't matter where you're at, doesn't matter your location or anything, there's always a shot to be taken. You just have to find it. So I've practiced that and practiced over the years to get to that point where it doesn't matter what location I'm at, it doesn't matter if I'm out in a parking lot or in some wheat field, I can get a shot that I want, and I know it's there. I saw the reflection, and I mean there was clouds, I took a couple shots, okay, no big deal. I'm getting ready to go and start kind of traveling around here. It's already kind of dark out, and I turn around to get in my car and I look up, and boom, there's my first shot. It was the tree line. And with the clouds behind it, you basically just made the tree line like a silhouette. So I get there, grab my lens, and boom, 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 a few shots. Okay, not the shot I'm after. Nonetheless, it was one of the shots. So I get going, I go down the hill, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have a map with me. And my phone, there's no reception up there. So I'm like, okay, well, I better not go too far. So I turn around, I go back, I pass Reflection Lake, and then I get to this one spot, and I'll post the image here in just a second. On my way over there, I stopped for a split second, took a look, and continued heading on to Reflection Lake because I wanted that picture. Well, this previous spot, it's another lookout point. Oh my goodness! You look out there, you can see you can see the valley. You can see. I mean, you'll see. I'll post the picture, but you can see the valley. You can see everything. And at the time that I was there, you could actually see the sunset, and there was tons of colors in the cloud. And I thought to myself, man, I should have taken the picture beforehand, before I ended up going to Reflection Lake. Well, nonetheless, I came back to that same location, and there's still enough light in the sky. I got some beautiful clouds. You'll see the picture. It actually turned out pretty neat. And so I got there, and I'm taking pictures. Once again, not the shot of Mount Rainier that I'm wanting. If I said Mount St. Helens earlier, I'm sorry, Mount Rainier. Not the shot I'm after. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see where else this goes. I start to go back the way I came, and where I had turned off the road, I could have either kept going straight or took the turn off that I took. So I went back there, took the right, and I start heading up the hill. And I'm not sure where I'm going to end up. I was kind of concerned that maybe I was going to end up on the back side of the, well, I guess technically it would be the front side, the north side of the mountain. It doesn't matter. So I took that turn off, and I start going up, and lo and behold, I run into a huge parking lot. And it was relieving because I didn't really see anybody out there. By this time, it's like 11:30, almost midnight, and there's a lodge up there. So I get up to the lodge, and holy smokes, tons of cars everywhere. Beautiful lodge. And I later find out that my wife was looking for hotels for me, and she thought about getting me a spot there, which, I totally would have been okay with because it was gorgeous. So by then my phone was about half dead, so I quickly go in there and charge my phone for a little bit, and I'm walking around the lodge, and it's beautiful. It was just a beautiful area. I found a map, and so I'm going through the map, I'm looking, and had I continued going past Reflection Lake and down that way, I would have ended up on, I guess it'd be the west side, the east side of the mountain, which, okay, cool, but I didn't want to go that far. That will be on another journey. So I come back in, and I grab my stuff, and I take off because I wasn't a guest there. I wasn't checking out a room for the night. I don't know. I just want them bothering me. So I grabbed my stuff and took off. And I figured, you know what? It's getting kind of late. Maybe I'll just close my eyes, shut my eyes for a little bit. So I get down to the second parking lot, the first one that I ran into, and I drive around to the back, and lo and behold, picture number 2. Once again, not of Mount Rainier. I believe the name of it is called Pinnacle Point. And where I was at, there was like a brick wall, but there was a little clearing that you could actually go out and walk onto. I didn't go that far because, once again, it's pitch black outside. But the cool thing about it was, at that moment that I happened to show up there, the clouds were, the moon, there was a full moon out. So the moment I get out there's a full moon, and the moon is just illuminating the clouds, and then the cloud just kind of began to drop, and I can actually see the points. So I was like, holy cow, what a gorgeous shot. So I grab my camera, get everything set up, grab the timer and blah, 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 and fired off a couple of shots. Gorgeous, gorgeous pictures. So yeah, once again, not Mount Rainier, it's of something different. Nonetheless, it was a beautiful shot. So at that point, I head back to Reflection Lake, and I actually contemplated just staying there. I figured, you know what, I'm here. I don't have to work the next day. I might as well just kind of hang out here and see what I get. So I go back to the same spot, and I'm waiting there 10, 20, 30 minutes, and I'm just grabbing a quick bite to eat, and I'm like, nah, you know what? I think I'll make this on another journey. So I turn around, and I head home for the night. And it was pretty peaceful. It was a peaceful drive on the way back, except it's by this point, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. Or no, it's about like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm headed back. It took me about an hour and a half to get back. And, I'm glad I left when I did. Because by the time I got here, I was just doing this. I was just about ready to knock out the whole time. Once again, my name is Josh Gutierrez. I'm with JK Life Photography, and this was my story.